All right, here we are. See my cool little journal? Welcome to 40 Fit Fu. This is episode 10. I know that's about goal setting. So my journal actually is where I put down a lot of my goals and I keep track of them. So I thought it was appropriate to start the episode that way. I'm gonna put this to the side here. So unfortunately, my lovely counterpart, Mimi Chan, is not able to make it today. So you're stuck with me, which is kind of a shame because when it comes to goal setting, she is actually at the top of the line. She's probably one of the best ones that can do it. So let's talk first because there was a question that I had last week and we didn't get a chance to answer. And it was, I forget who it was from, but the question was, how do I protect my knees during Tai Chi? So I don't have a ton of context here, but I'll try to hit different things. First, if you are a beginner at Tai Chi, this is a very valid question of how to protect your knees when you're doing Tai Chi, because there is some forces that are being put on the knees that you're not used to when you start doing Tai Chi. So let's see if I back up a little bit. Let me see. You can get a nice good look at my chicken legs this way. Probably not good enough, but there's movements that are going from the hips when you're doing Tai Chi. And so you have to be careful that you're not putting stress and torque on the knee that it's not used to. It's not that the torsion is bad. What's bad is that when you put force on tissue that it's not used to taking. So most injury happens when the amount of force that you put on a tissue, let's say it's your wrist or your knee if you're in Tai Chi, exceeds what that tissue is capable for. So the first thing is that you have to train for it, right? You can't just jump into really doing a lot of these twisting motions on the knee if it's painful. We've said multiple times that if you are going through any kind of motion, the number one thing is pain-free, full range of motion. So because you see my upper body here, my shoulder, pain-free, full range of motion. If my shoulder was injured and this was all that I can do, then I'm gonna just do that as often as I can. And so you do the same thing when it comes to your knees. So that's kind of like the beginner question for if you are, if you're doing Tai Chi and if you're beginning with Tai Chi and you're afraid of kind of having any kind of knee injuries. So protect your knees that way. The second thing, and this is in no means any disparaging comment for everyone, but to realize that the more weight that you have, the more stress that you put on your joints. So there is an analogy that for every pound that you lose, it's like 5 pounds less on your joints. Oh, great. I have someone who said you're the best trainer ever. For every pound that you lose 5, your joints feel like it's 5 pounds less. So quick math means that if you were to lose 5 pounds, that would feel like 25 pounds lighter on your joints. And I have a lot of clients like that physically or aesthetically, they may not feel a big difference when they lose 5 pounds. They may think, oh, I kind of still feel like I look the same. But they start feeling a lot better and their body is able to support a lot more different types of movements. So those are two ways to start thinking about training your joints. One is proceed slowly when you're at the beginning. Try to train your body to accept the right amount of force that it's going to be, that the joints are being demanded to do. And if you exceed that, that's where injury can happen. So it kind of all starts with self-awareness. And then number 2 is keep in mind that your body should have kind of a natural body weight. You know, if you're bigger boned, you're a bigger boned person. If you're smaller boned like I am, you'll be smaller. But your body will then acclimate and you can build on that. But if you are closer to what your ideal body weight is, that will also help with protecting the knees. And this Saturday, shameless plug, if you are going to be at the Wah Lum Temple as a student and taking the seminar, we'll go over some things you can do to protect your knees when you are training for Tai Chi specifically or Kung Fu. Either way. For life, let's just say for life. All right, so today is about goal setting. As I said, the master of goal setting, not just goal setting, but the master of goal accomplishing is Mimi Chan, and she is not here. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I talk with clients about when we talk about goal setting. So one of the things is sometimes we start off with, hey, this is a goal that I have. And while that's a great way to start for goal setting, like, I don't know, I want to lose 10 pounds of fat and put on 10 pounds of lean muscle. Instead of like that specific goal, that's one way to do it. But one of the things that I like is to think about, start with thinking about the type of person that you want to be instead of the goal. And so if you start thinking about the type of person that you want to be, you can start asking questions like, well, what would this person do every day? What are the qualities that this person has? How does this person eat? How does this person address exercise? How do they handle stress? You can start asking these questions, and then you can try to implement these actions day to day. And so if you do it this way, then the means justify the ends. Basically, let's take fitness, for example. You don't think of exercise as necessarily something that you have to do. You think of exercise and fitness and a healthy lifestyle as just the type of person that you are. And this may take time. It may take you months, it may take you years, but if you keep at it and stay consistent, and you are always thinking about, well, what does my future self, the goal that I have, what does that person look like? What do they do? Then once you are in that lifestyle, it's not a chore. You're just doing what you do on a day-to-day basis, living healthy life, exercising, eating well, all of that. So that's just a concept that I wanted to talk to you guys about as far as goal setting. The other thing is to think of having the right habits in mind. So we do some nutrition coaching here at Control Your Health, and I'm kind of a nutrition agnostic. So I don't tell people, here's what you need to eat. But instead, most people want to be lean. Most people want to add more muscle. Most people want to lose a little bit of weight. Really what that means is that in order to do that, they need to be able to eat well consistently. So then what does that mean? What does eating well consistently mean? It means that you eat the right amount of food at the right time, eating slowly, and eating the right quality of food as well. And so how do you break that down into skills? Well, I'll give you exactly how we do it here. The first thing we do is we have people for 2 weeks set aside 10 to 15 minutes a day on their calendar, and just put that time aside to do something different than what you've been doing. Don't have to change what you're eating just yet. The next step is to build a habit is to start eating slowly. Even if you're a slow eater, it's really about paying attention to what you eat and being more self-aware. Then the next step after that is spend a couple of weeks of finding what the Goldilocks means. What is the right amount of food for you? Finding when you're satiated. So you can think of it as, I'm 80% full, I'm going to stop. Or, you know what, I feel just right, even though there's food on my plate, I'm going to stop. Those habits then build on and become just the way that you eat. And you don't really necessarily even have to change what you're eating just yet. And then we can start going into the quality of the food and protein and all that. So those are some of the things. Now let's see. Here's a great question that I have. What about protecting my neck? Well, protecting your neck is very important, as the Wu-Tang Clan has mentioned. Another comment from the Wu-Tang Clan as far as protecting your neck is that I may have your back, but you're best to watch your front, because it's the people that front, they're the ones that are pulling stunts. Usually, that's, I don't want to make a broad statement, but that's usually what happens. So let's see, do I have any other questions here? Protecting my neck, you're the best trainer ever. Feel free, if you don't have any questions, just to add a ton of compliments. It kind of helps my ego here. I'm kind of surprised that I've been rambling for 10 minutes. So goal setting. Let's just wrap this up a little bit of goal setting. I'll give you an example for myself. I am trying to reach a goal of pressing 36 kilograms. 36 kilograms is about 80 pounds. That's half my body weight. Pressing it overhead. I'm at 32 kilograms right now. So how did I go about doing that? Well, first is my shoulders were not working properly, so I had to think about getting the shoulders functioning properly. And then I started building consistently a certain amount of weight over time, adding a little bit to it. And the progression was definitely not like this. It was, as I've mentioned before, this kind of wavy, even circling back, starting again, but taking all that experience and building up on that. And so that actually leads me to one last thing that I was thinking about as far as goal setting is that if you are ever frustrated with your lack of progress, then you know that you are on the right track, because that frustration that you have is required in order for you to succeed. Because if it was easy, everyone else would do it, right? Everyone would be accomplishing all their goals. It's when you hit these little walls and these little bits of frustration, and then you kind of persevere and use that knowledge to push through it, that's when you succeed in achieving your goals. So here we go, we have another question. I know what person I want to be, but Oscar is already taken. You're right, Hip Dang. Yep, I'm already taken. But let me tell you something, Hip. If you want to be like me, let's just start with shaving your head first, getting a little bit of a tan, okay? And then adding a little bit more lean muscle. And I think you're going to be well on your way. As far as knowledge and looks, I don't know if you can do that. So I am about to wrap this up because otherwise the questions that I'll be getting, I think, can deviate. So that is episode 10, goal setting. I appreciate anybody who's watching, even if you're having a good time joking around. If you would like for me to post something on how I take care of my knees and how I address like knee health in general, shoot me a comment. I'll be happy to shoot you a video. All right. Oh wait, okay, serious question. All right, let me take a look at this. Please forgive me here. Okay, serious question. It is very difficult to trust diet advice since even the US FDA changes their guidance regularly. What should we believe? All right. I think this is a very good question because every single week or month or year, you get, this is what the new diet should be. And I think what you need to realize is there are reporters who are waiting for the next study on diet and nutrition to come out just so they can get this great new headline to post. And then that usually, sometimes these headlines catch fire and they become this whole big thing. Cholesterol's bad, cholesterol's good, sugar's the enemy, sugar's not so bad, drink more water, don't drink as much, it can go in all sorts of ways. But if you go back to what I was saying earlier as far as trying to build the good habits of what eating well consistently means, it means eating like an adult, right? Like you and I both know that as much as you love Honey Nut Cheerios, having that every single day is not what you should be having, right? If you look along the line, a continuum, and on one side is healthy eating, and let's define that as steamed fish, some vegetables, and a sensible carbohydrate, right? And all the way along this line is what my favorite example for processed food, because it's what I really like as a kid, was Skittles. Then you know that this is not so good and this is good. And no matter what people tell you as far as here's what you should eat and shouldn't eat, you know that if you move along this line towards sensible protein, right? More greens, more leafy vegetables, smart carbohydrates that are not like in a box, vegetables and oils that are not super processed, that are more natural, you know that that is going to be healthier for you. But if you want to lose a little bit of weight, I think that instead of jumping on a diet, start working on your habits. And the habits start with being aware of what you're eating. And the step right before that is slowing down when you eat. So slow down, pay attention to what you're eating, pay attention to when you're full and satisfied, and then we can start tackling like, what are the things that work for you? Because it is a little bit individualized. So I think that's all that I got as far as questions go. I'm gonna scroll up real quick. Yeah. All right, so that's all I got. I took 15 minutes. I'm really proud of myself. I'm able to ramble. I didn't think that I could do it, but apparently I really enjoy hearing myself speak. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for future episodes, things that you'd like us to do, like if you'd be more excited to see me doing a whole episode while hanging on a bar or something like that, or doing exercise, I'd be happy to film that for you. So till next week, next Tuesday, 7:30, you can tune in back at Control Your Health, and we will continue with this whole 40 Fit Fu, trying to tell you how ways that you can stay fit as you get to 40 and beyond, or even if you're before 40. All right, that's all for today. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.